Admiral James Taylor stared at the alien delegation from across the polished conference table. The representatives of the Voros Imperium stood nearly 7 feet tall, their iridescent scales shifting from deep purple to blue as they moved under the harsh lights of Earth's orbital diplomatic station. "Let me ensure I understand correctly," James said, his weathered face betraying nothing. "You're claiming ownership of all our aquatic vessels because your species invented boats 20,000 years ago." The lead Voros diplomat, who had introduced himself as Trell, made a clicking sound that the translator rendered as condescension. "Not claiming, Admiral. Asterisk or claiming asterisk. Your primitive species copied our design concepts from ancient Rex. The fact that you modified them doesn't change the intellectual property infringement." James fought to keep his composure. Humanity had only achieved faster-than-light travel 5 years ago, and the galaxy had proven to be far more crowded and complicated than anyone had anticipated. The Voros Imperium controlled 17 star systems and had a technological edge over humanity in most areas. But this demand was absurd. "And you expect us to surrender our entire maritime fleet, everything from fishing boats to aircraft carriers? Plus licensing fees for the past 2 centuries of unauthorized use," added another Voros diplomat, her scales flashing in aggressive red. "We've been quite generous in our calculations." James exchanged glances with Dr. Lisa Bell, Earth's lead xenohistorian. She gave a subtle headshake. "I'll need to consult with my government," James said finally. "We'll reconvene in 24 hours. "They're bluffing," Lisa said once they were alone in the secure briefing room. "I've spent 3 years studying their archaeological records. The Voros evolved on a world with minimal surface water. They didn't develop boats until after they achieved spaceflight and colonized their first water world." Captain Mike Rodriguez, head of Naval Intelligence, snorted. "So they're trying to con us?" "Exactly," Lisa replied. "They've done this to at least 2 other emerging spacefaring species. They identify a crucial technology, claim prior ownership, and extract massive concessions. It's economic warfare." James frowned. "We can't afford to antagonize them militarily, but we can't give in either. Suggestions?" "I have an idea," Mike said, a slow smile spreading across his face. "But we'll need to work fast." 24 hours later, James sat at the conference table again. The Voros delegation seemed confident, their scales glimmering with anticipation. "We've considered your position," James began, "and wish to offer a compromise." Trell's inner eyelids flickered. "We aren't interested in compromise. The evidence of your theft is irrefutable." "Perhaps," James said, sliding a data tablet across the table. "But before we continue, we've been researching your species' technological history as well." The Voros diplomat reluctantly activated the tablet. The other members of the delegation crowded around to view the display. "What is this?" Trell demanded. "Historical records from Earth," Lisa explained, stepping forward. "Specifically, documentation of human recreational swimming dating back over 10,000 years. "I fail to see the relevance," Trell said. "According to our research," Lisa continued, "the Voros didn't develop the ability to swim until approximately 3,000 years ago, after contact with the Moronian Alliance." "That's preposterous," hissed another diplomat. Mike stepped in smoothly. "Our historians have assembled substantial evidence that Voros military personnel were taught swimming techniques by Moronian instructors. We have cross-referenced this with galactic historical archives." James leaned forward. "By your own logic, your species has been illegally using human swimming techniques without proper licensing or attribution for 3 millennia." The Voros delegation's scales had darkened to a deep, angry purple. Trell looked as though he might explode. "Furthermore," James continued, "our calculations suggest that the licensing fees you owe humanity would exceed the value of Earth's maritime fleet by approximately 300%. "This is outrageous," Trell sputtered. "No more outrageous than your claims about boats," James replied calmly. "But we're prepared to be reasonable. We propose a mutual agreement. You drop all claims regarding nautical technology, and we'll waive the swimming license fees." The Voros diplomats huddled together, their translator devices temporarily disabled as they conferred in their native language. The conference room filled with clicks. hisses, and guttural sounds. Finally, Trell turned back to the human delegation. "We find your counterproposal acceptable," he said, scales now of subdued blue-gray, though we maintain that our original claim had merit. Of course, James nodded, not bothering to hide his smile. "We'll have the formal agreement prepared immediately." Later, as Earth's diplomatic team celebrated in their private quarters, Lisa raised her glass to human ingenuity and to bluffing better than the bluffers, Mike added. James smiled but remained thoughtful. They'd backed down too easily. This was a test. They wanted to see how we'd respond, whether we caved to pressure. "And what did they learn?" Lisa asked. "That humans protect what's theirs," James replied, "and that we're cleverer than they expected." Mike laughed, the looks on their faces when you brought up swimming. "I thought Trell was going to molt right there." "We've won this round," James cautioned, "but the Voros won't forget it. They'll be back with something else." "Let them come," Lisa said confidently. "Humanity didn't get to the stars by backing down from challenges." James nodded, glancing out the viewport at Earth shining below. Humanity was new to the galactic stage, outmatched in many ways by older, more established species. But what they lacked in technology and territory, they made up for in determination and adaptability. The message they'd sent today was clear. Earth might be the new kid on the block, but they weren't pushovers. Whatever claims or threats came next, humanity would face them together. And they keep their boats, thank you very much.